Sam, have you ever thought about time travel? Like in Avengers movie?
Yeah, like I wish I could rewind to last Tuesday. I said something so dumb in front of my crush. I'm still cringing. But is it just something from movies? Or could we actually do it?
I've been thinking the same thing. I bet Professor Sparks could explain it. He always has the answers.
Good idea. Let's ask him.
Hello, Alex Sam. What brings you two young adventurers to my humble abode today?
Professor, we are talking about time travel. Is time travel really possible?
Time travel, one of my favorite topics, so much to explore. It's like the ultimate what-if question, isn't it? Do you two want to dive into the possibilities?
Absolutely, Professor. Is time travel even possible? And if it is, how does it actually work?
Well, let's break it down, starting with the basics. Time, as we experience it, flows forward, always forward. Imagine time is like a river, constantly moving in one direction. Now here's the kicker. Some scientists believe that under the right conditions, you could not only speed up or slow down the flow of that river, but maybe even swim against it.
Wait, swim against the current? So you're saying we could go back in time, like actually relive moments?
Well, hold your horses. It's not quite that simple. But before we get into that, let me ask you this. How do you guys think time works?
It just ticks on, right? 1 minute after the next. Simple.
Simple, yes, but only on the surface. Time is actually more flexible than you think. Picture time as a loaf of bread.
Bread again? Last time it was toast.
Exactly. Think of the loaf as the timeline of the universe, with each slice being a moment in time, past, present, or future. We humans experience each slice one at a time, always moving forward, slice by slice. You can eat today's slice, but you can't touch tomorrow's slice or put back yesterday's. But here's where things get interesting. What if there was a way to move to a different slice, or maybe jump around the loaf?
Like a time-hopping baker.
Exactly. But to understand how we might hop around, we need to talk about the big guy, Albert Einstein. He came up with the theory that changed everything about how we see time.
Oh yeah, relativity, right? I remember that from class, sorta.
Good memory. Einstein's theory of relativity showed that time isn't as rigid as we thought. In fact, time and space are linked. They're part of something called space-time. Now, here's where it gets fun. According to Einstein, time is like a stretchy fabric. When something massive, like a planet or star, sits on that fabric, it warps it. And if you move really, really fast, like near the speed of light, time stretches out for you.
Stretches out like when you're waiting for pizza and time just drags on forever?
Pretty much. Imagine you're on a spaceship traveling at nearly the speed of light, zooming around the universe while Alex stays back on Earth. For you, a couple of hours might pass, but by the time you return to Earth, Alex could be celebrating his 100th birthday.
Wait, so Sam would barely age, and I'd be an old man by the time he gets back. That's wild.
Exactly. It's called time dilation. The faster you move, the slower time goes for you compared to someone who isn't moving as fast. This has actually been proven with astronauts in space. They experience time just a teeny bit slower than we do here on Earth, thanks to their high speeds.
So wait, we can travel into the future by going super fast? Like if I got into a really fast car, could I skip ahead a few years?
Well, not with your average car, unless it's a DeLorean with a flux capacitor. But theoretically, yes, if we could travel close to the speed of light. The faster you go, the more you jump into the future. So, forward time travel is more of a possibility than backward.
What about going back in time, like stopping something from happening? I bet Sam would love to go back and stop himself from saying something dumb to his crush.
Don't remind me.
Backward time travel. Now that's where things get tricky. Imagine you could go back in time and stop an event, like making sure you never tripped in front of your crush. But here's the paradox. If you stop yourself from tripping, then you never have the reason to go back and stop it in the first place. It's called the grandfather paradox. Let's say you went back in time and stopped your grandparents from meeting. What happens to you? If they never met, you wouldn't exist to go back and stop them.
So, if I stop myself from existing, I don't exist to stop myself? Whoa.
You'd vanish like a puff of smoke.
Exactly. The universe doesn't seem to like contradictions. It's as if the timeline corrects itself. That's why most physicists agree that backward time travel would cause all sorts of problems with reality as we know it.
So no stopping embarrassing moments, huh?
Afraid not. But There are some ideas that might make backward time travel work without causing paradoxes. Some scientists think that if you traveled back in time, you might not change your own timeline, but create an entirely new one, an alternate universe, so to speak. In that timeline, maybe you never tripped, but in this one you still did. The two timelines split like branches on a tree.
So, like a choose-your-own-adventure book. You take a different path, but both versions still exist.
Yes, something like that. It's called the many worlds theory. It suggests that every possible outcome of an event actually happens, just in different universes. So, in one universe, Sam trips and in another, he doesn't. But for now, we don't have any proof that these alternate universes exist.
I'll take it. At least there's a version of me out there somewhere who didn't embarrass himself.
There you go. But here's another interesting idea. Wormholes. These are like shortcuts through space-time, tunnels that could, in theory, connect distant points in space and time. If we could find or create a stable wormhole, it might be possible to step through one end and pop out in the past or future.
So wormholes are like secret doors between different times?
Precisely, but so far they're just theoretical. We haven't found any real wormholes, and even if we did, keeping one stable long enough to travel through would be like trying to hold open the jaws of an alligator. Tricky business?
Yeah, I'm not getting near an alligator anytime soon.
And there's also the problem of energy. It would take an enormous amount of energy to create and stabilize a wormhole, more than we can even imagine right now.
So basically, time travel is possible if we move really fast, but going backward or through wormholes is still more science fiction.
That's a good summary. Forward time travel? Possible, if we can crack the speed of light barrier. Backward time travel? Much harder, and filled with paradoxes and theoretical headaches. For now, it remains in the realm of imagination and sci-fi. But who knows? Maybe in a few centuries, someone will find a way to bend the rules of the universe.
And when they do, I'm signing up to undo every embarrassing moment I've had.
Just be careful not to create too many paradoxes along the way.